Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pretend Problems podcast. I'm Jason Bourne's girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, you are.
If you're watching on YouTube, somebody cut off 8 inches of their hair and dyed it red. And it turns out if you go perform and talk about it, a lot of people think that something terribly wrong has happened in your life. I was in Baltimore over the weekend performing at Magooby's, and I walked on stage and a woman was like, "What happened?" And I was like, "Well, no death in the family. Just wanted a little change." But yeah, I'm enjoying the change so far. I've just learned that I have to style it. I think girls, when their hair is long, you can be lazier about it and it will still look feminine, like if it's just down. But the shorter your hair gets, if you do nothing to it and you're not wearing makeup, for me, if it's straight, it gets a little like Professor Snape-ish or Lord Farquaad, or just there's lots of men with a bob. That is not the look for me. But
well, no worries here. Huge change looks wise, and just waiting for that gym membership to show up in the mail. Anyways.
What?
What?
What does that mean?
I was just kidding. Normally when people make a huge change like that, it's it's just because.
Wait, I don't understand. Sorry, I'm so...
Normally when
dumb.
a woman cuts her hair like this
Yeah.
and changes their look and goes to the gym a whole bunch, it's because they're fucking someone.
Oh, geez.
I'll get right to it. I try to skirt around these things and you're like, I twirl my hair, but I lost 8 inches of it.
I truly did not understand.
I get it.
Well, yeah, we've had an interesting past week. Like I said, I was in Baltimore. I got to go to the Maryland State Fair, which was a sight to behold. I didn't realize how spoiled I am by the Minnesota State Fair.
Minnesota State Fair is great. They've created an entire city.
Yeah.
They're like, it's weeks leading up to Labor Day.
Yeah.
And it really is, hey, winter's coming.
Yeah.
So come here, enjoy all these things. I don't think a lot of state fairs are like that.
No, I remember seeing the performance calendar for the Minnesota State Fair, and it was like Chance the Rapper and stuff. And at first I was like, oh, they have a Chance the Rapper impersonator.
Right.
I don't know. Being from Washington, it's like the idea of state fairs having big people. Maybe the Washington State Fair has good people, but it's crazy. The calendar of people that come through here is bananas.
Yeah. By the way, if you want to watch something awesome, look up Chance the Rapper on Colbert. Oh boy, is it good.
So good. Yeah. Ben Katzner, who featured for me, fantastic comedian. Look him up. Features for Chad as well.
Unbelievable headlines.
Yes. Told me that Chance the Rapper's show at the Minnesota State Fair had such low attendance. And I guess his agents were trying to get him to cancel it, and he didn't. And then he wrote a rap song about the Minnesota State Fair and that there was nobody there, but he did it anyway.
Oh, interesting.
I wonder if we could find that somewhere.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love it
That brings
too.
me back to bowling alleys.
Yeah.
Where you'd be doing stand up and you'd show up at this bowling alley.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, hey guys, comedy in 10 minutes. But it wasn't get ready for comedy.
Yeah.
It was, you should probably go home because there's comedy.
Warning.
And then
Warning.
people would fucking leave with their bowling shoes on. They didn't even have time to change into their normal street shoes.
We got to get out of here.
They fucking they don't even take their wrist guard off. They're carrying their ball and their bag separately with their wrist guard and their bowling shoes. And then you'd get up there and you're like, no one's here. And they're like, I'm here. The owner. Just like, I'm here and I'm paying you. Like, okay.
Dance monkey.
What if you don't pay me? What if I just go back to the hotel? Well, I paid for the hotel. I guess I'm telling you just awkward eye contact jokes.
Oh, God. It hurts our soul when that happens.
Yeah, but for Chance the Rapper to just go, nah, I'm doing it. That's awesome.
I love it. I think it is cool as performers to see somebody that you go, oh, he has to be selling out everywhere. Have a show where it's sometimes we go to certain markets and we're like, oh, nobody? Oh, nobody. Okay. And you feel like a loser. And it's great that even Chance the Rapper's like, yeah, no, me too sometimes.
Yeah.
But he did it anyway.
Oh,
Made
I
the
love
most
that.
of it.
That's lots of respect for that.
Lots of respect. And Ben and I tried deep fried watermelon at the state fair, which before I was going to walk right by because I was like, that's probably soggy and gross. And Ben said, he told the guy, he's like, I can't order this because I feel like that is somehow racist for me because Ben's black. So deep fried watermelon. It was very, very funny. I thought the guy running the stand, not into it, was actually very offended that Ben might not eat his family's recipe, but we ended up getting it. And it was one of the best things I've ever had in my life, except for when you only got a bite of piping hot watermelon.
Hot Pockets. Shout out to Jim Gaffigan. Also, let you know that the person running the stand was black.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Pretty important part of the story.
Yes. Sorry.
He was like, this is my family's recipe. I'm not interested in you trying to be funny about racial stuff. I want you to eat it.
Yeah.
And then you sent me a text that said, oh my God, this stuff is so amazing, this deep fried watermelon. And I was like, well, unsubscribe because I can't have it. And you're like, no, it's vegan. And I'm like, okay, but where are you? Maryland? Where am I? Minnesota, just in the middle of Minnesota, you sent it. You're like, okay, now I get it.
Yeah, I am trying to convince these people to come to the Minnesota State Fair because it was that good. But yeah, we had a great time. For those of you who came to the shows at Magooby's, thank you so much. It was like the opposite of a weekend that makes you feel like a loser. You all were such incredible crowds. I had the best time. So thank you so much. And then you had an eventful, well, it's not eventful, but you have an update.
Testing?
Testing.
Oh, I got my results back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chad's ADHD testing results.
That's right. We all, probably not all, but some of us were wondering if I have ADHD or what makes me do the things I do. What makes me tick the way I tick. And it's just good old-fashioned assholism. I do not have ADHD.
He doesn't have ADHD.
I don't have any. Yes, listen to the surprised tone in this one's voice.
Because we think of all of the emails we've gotten from people with ADHD that are like,
I know,
yep,
they're like,
it's
you
ADHD.
definitely have it.
So I'm just saying back to you guys, like, it's not. It's.
I mean, I'm going to say this
yeah.
as concisely as possible, and it's going to make me sound even worse than I normally sound. But I'm smarter than a lot of people. And when they're being dumb and being fucks, it makes me mad. It's like, pick it up, pick up the pace, make your decision faster, do better, right? I've talked about this. My therapist is always like, just remember, people are doing the best they can do with the tools that they have in that moment. It's like, these are your tools. This is your best. Then it's time to fucking say goodnight. Do the world a favor and be done with it.
Oh my God.
Why can't you go full Japanese, end your bloodline? Just do it. It's taking so long. Fuck. So anyways, I don't have an excuse. I was hoping for one too. I went in to get medication for ADHD and I came out with a full prescription of fucking ego pills. And it's not great. It's not great. Next time you see me, I might be wearing a fucking cape. These scores were ridiculous.
The reason Chad says that he is smarter than most people is because he has been clinically tested to be smarter than most people. We didn't know this going into the testing because the woman didn't tell him what each test was. So she was giving him an IQ test in addition to the ADHD test. And maybe, I don't even know if there were other tests too. But fucking Mensa over here, we already knew. It's like, okay, you tested a long time ago. We knew you were in Mensa. But you would say to me, you'd be like, oh, that was a long time ago. Who knows? I'm probably not as smart anymore or whatever. This motherfucker got in the 99th percentile of people for IQ. Like actual Einstein level IQ. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. On one hand, it's so fucking hot to me. Like,
sure.
Ooh, I just love it so much. And on the other hand, I'm like, you don't need that information. How am I ever going to win another fight in this relationship when the person I'm with is like, no, I actually know that statistically I'm smarter than you?
Well, two things. I'm not smarter than you. You are smarter than me because I want to make something very clear. I scored high on this fucking one test. Who cares? This is a test.
On this one arbitrary test called the IQ test.
Yeah. But IQ doesn't translate to being smart. Like you have to, here's the thing. Like I probably could read some stuff and figure it out.
Yeah.
And then that would make me smart. But I'm not going to read the stuff. I don't care about learning about stuff that I don't need to know all the stuff. I just like whatever. So I do have a high IQ, but I'm not smart. And an example of that is when she handed me my paper, I thought I had an IQ of 191, but it was 160 when I was holding it upside down. So I'm not smart. I'm actually pretty dumb with just a decent number.
It's crazy. You know, I Googled who else has IQs of 160, and it's a fucking crazy list. It's like Stephen Hawking, Einstein, Descartes, like all of these people who like changed the world.
Right. And guess what I'm going to do with it? Not a fucking thing. I used to be like, so let me get this straight. There's a bunch of scientists that are building golf clubs so nerds like me can hit it 5 yards further. Yeah. And there's like all these scientists making Head and Shoulders shampoo, new and improved Head and Shoulders shampoo. It's like, why the fuck aren't they all? You should have to, like when I was in Singapore doing stand-up, we talked to this guy. It is mandatory that you do, it's mandarinatory that you do 2 years civil service, whether that is firefighter, police officer, armed forces, that kind of stuff. And they get you from 18 to 20 when you're actually fucking healthy. Like the healthiest you're going to be, they want those people doing that.
Yeah.
And so you have to do it. It's like the public service that comes with being able to be alive in that country. And so awesome. My question is, why? I used to think, why aren't these scientists being made to fucking for 2 years try to figure out cancer?
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
But instead they're working on golf clubs. So you went to school for 8 years to fucking figure out golf clubs.
Yeah.
But now guess what? I have this huge number and I'm not going to do a fucking thing with it. I'm not going to learn anymore. I'm not going to try harder. I'm certainly not going to do anything that those people did. I'm just sitting here with a number. Who knows? She was texting her daughter. I might have fucking failed the test. I have no idea.
Oh my God. No.
But it is, I'm not going to do the one thing I have in common with the three people you mentioned.
Yeah.
Well, at least one of the people that you mentioned is that I would be able to move a wheelchair by blowing into a straw. It's like, I fucking can figure that out. 161, bitches. Go forward. And then I'd fucking suck it in to try to go backwards, and that isn't how it works, probably. I'd be like...
just swallowing all your spit you just blew in there.
Just choking on it, like, oh no, what's happening? So these tests are so dumb. I mean, you know who's smart by talking to them, and you know who's not by talking to them.
Right.
And so many times I'm not.
Yeah, but...
But anyways, I don't have ADHD. That's the point of all of this.
I know.
Is that she said, oh, well, there's some in the pre-questionnaire, you flagged some things that were ADHD, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like my feet move a lot when I watch movies.
Yeah.
But it's normally when music's on. So sorry, I fucking love music. And then there was one about like, a lot of my teachers used to say not living up to his potential, can't sit still in class. And that's ADHD, but it's also, I remember being in class and being like, why are we doing this? This is so fucking dumb. I remember sitting in class going, if people in here don't know this, then let's go. Right? I was going to school in the 80s. It's like, fuck. Missing kids happened all the time. Let's do it.
Yeah, we had a listener write in a while back, you guys will probably remember, who said that their dad, I believe, either had ADHD or maybe just had a really high IQ, but that it was similar for him where he couldn't sit still in class, didn't love school, but it was because he was bored because he wasn't being challenged. And so I feel like that can so often be looked at as ADHD, but in like your case, it was not.
Sure.
So, yeah.
And I was thinking maybe it's like autism or something too, because I think autistic people can have a high IQ and still be real dumb in a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But then I also know that when I'm figuring something out, I don't look up into the corner of the room and have all this shit appear. So that's also probably not it. So I don't fucking know. Listen, I know this. I know that if you're being a dick and I don't like it, I'm going to get mad about you being a dick.
Yeah.
That's it. So I don't know what that is. What awesomeness?
Yeah, I also don't know what that is, but that is a very like specific thing to you that I think stands out amongst, like, you put 100 people there. I don't know how many other people can come forward and be like, yeah, if I see something I don't like in public, I have no fear of going and confronting somebody.
Well, there would be a couple other people in that 100 that it would drive crazy. And when we high-fived, it would be a fucking perfect high five. Because we would be locked in on each other's hands. We would make sure we didn't fuck it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that is. Maybe that is just a very high IQ and a certain like childhood and wanting there to be justice. Who knows?
I think what some of it is like I go to therapy at least every other week.
Yeah.
I do a bunch of shit to try to straighten out my life. Yeah. And when other people are being fuckwads and aren't, then it's like, why do I have to do it?
Yeah.
Why don't you have to do it? So guess what? I'm going to remind you verbally that you should be doing it. Sweet parking spot.
Yeah. And I think when your IQ is that high, it can be hard, not always, but sometimes, to remember that other people do not have the brain that you have.
I also have I don't care.
I know you don't care, but it's like,
that.
yeah, I know. But that is like the reality is by being in the 99th percentile, that means that there are 99% of other people who do not think like you think. And you're going to keep running into them, and it's going to keep frustrating you that they don't move as fast as you, don't think as fast as you. Even we just went golfing, and I was the first hole, and I was like trying to gather my things. And I was actually telling myself like, all right, try to move a little quickly because he gets cranky if it's like too much lollygagging.
Cranky?
Well, you get like...
That's aggressive. I do get like, hey, chop, chop. You don't need to put the tee and the ball and your ball marker back in the bag from one green to the tee box.
Which
like, I know you don't.
I don't. Yeah,
I'm just saying. But like if that happens, I'm like, why don't we keep it out?
Right.
Why don't we not have to repeat this process 18 times?
For sure.
That would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
Sure. But I don't think I'm cranky with you. But go ahead. I'll let you tell the story and then I will rebut it.
Okay. Can't wait. But I even have in mind that you don't like things to drag. And so I was like quickly trying to grab my ball, my tee, my stuff, because it's the first hole, so I don't like have it out yet. And you're like, hey, I don't remember like your sweet face. I don't remember exactly what you said, but it was like, hey, like are we golfing or are we listening to music? Because there's gonna be people behind us. And I was like, you did
put music on and you were dancing while you were doing all the stuff.
Let's put an asterisk next to dancing. I was bopping. I was just grabbing.
Okay, but that's dancing to me. So, and you have to trust me because I have a high IQ. So that's dancing.
See, I'm like, God.
I know. I'm obviously just kidding. And I want to reiterate one more time, just in case you stepped away while we started this conversation. I know a high IQ and these dumb fucking tests do not mean you're smart. So many times I'm dumb, and so many times I'm dumb, and people will say to me, they'll say like, hey man, maybe don't juggle those bricks by that glass thing. And I'm like, oh yeah, I just was juggling because I thought I could juggle. And then I go, I shouldn't do that. And so when I have that feeling, I think maybe when I say something, the people are going to be like, oh yeah, I shouldn't be doing that. But anyways, so you've just started golfing.
Uh-huh.
So along the way, you will start to realize, I think, like everyone else, it's like before your tee time, your ball, your tee, your ball marker are all in your pocket.
Yeah.
And then that way, when you get to the tee, it's not a process. It's like the music can be going, everybody can be dancing.
Yeah.
And then you just walk right to the tee instead of having to go behind the cart, find everything. Because normally there is a little bit of a wait before you get to that.
Yeah.
Now, am I impatient? Yeah. Do I worry a little bit when I'm golfing with a new golfer that people behind us are going to get frustrated? Because it's like, I know, and this is no offense, but I know that sometimes holes are going to take you a while.
For sure.
And so it's like, well, let's be okay with that because you're learning, but then let's not spend time dancing our way down to the bottom pocket of our bag to get our shit. And that's just how I've always, I mean, I do think that I turn the dad on with almost everyone in my life, my guy friends from high school, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, what are we doing here, fellas?
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of shit. So, and again, my what's right for me is not right for everyone. And that's been proven time and a time again.
Yeah.
Time and a time again.
Time and a time and a time and a.
161. Time and time again, it has been proven that what I think should be happening doesn't need to be happening.
Yeah.
So I don't know where this testing has left me.
Yeah. How do you feel?
I feel fucking great.
Good.
I feel unstoppable. I went in and I said, I'm broken. Test me. And they said, it just feels like you're broken because you're the only one that's fully put together. I'm teasing.
Oh my God.
I know. I did say when I was like, there's going to be no living with me. She was giving me these results and being like, I've been doing this for 35 years and I've never seen a 20 and you got 3 of them. And I'm like, well, there's some fucking lucky guesses in there then.
No.
Because I didn't leave this thing thinking like, nailed it.
Yeah.
I mean, I left it knowing that it took longer than normal.
Yeah.
But I just don't fucking care. I really would have rather they go, oh, you have ADHD. So then I can know what to do instead of just be like, well, I will tell you, I like who I am.
I know.
I'm going to tell you that
That's
I
great.
do like who I am. And I don't think, that I'm necessarily, the asshole that sometimes I'm portrayed to be. I'm not talking about you. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying like out in the world where it's like, I think I'm just being logical.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That is the I don't want an argument agreement tone. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Let's, anyways, I have a story. Yeah, no, I've been there and I get it. I just don't know what to make of it. And I don't know, if they say you have ADHD, then you go, all right, well, here's a list of ways I can change and get better.
Yeah.
And now they're like, you don't have it. And I go, oh, so is there a list of ways I can change and get better? And they're like, nope. Figure it out. You're supposed to be smart. It's like, that's not what that means. Don't shut the door.
Yeah. Well, like I was telling you when you told me the results, it's like, even though the answer is no, that's still an answer. It's still forward progress. It's like you learned something that you didn't know before.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, so ADHD medication is not the answer for you. Now you know that.
Right. But you do kind of wish that you'd get a yes. Finding out what the yes is by a series of no's is so time consuming.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a comedian because I know that I can't work with people that drywall. And I know that I don't want to wash dishes at a restaurant where I'm going to see my friends out in the restaurant.
Yeah.
I learned that through a series of no's.
Right.
And that is a fucking bummer.
Yeah.
I would have rather they just at birth been like, you're going to be a comedian. Like, okay, great.
Don't we all
Thank
wish
you.
that? Don't we all? Yeah. Well, I'm so proud of you
It's
for
nice.
going and doing it, because so many people just would not be willing to like take the time, put in the energy, because this wasn't like oh, here's a link for a 5-minute questionnaire. It was like, this was an involved, long thing. I'm so proud. You and I both just hit 5 months of sobriety, which is exciting. And I just like the fact that it used to be such a topic of conversation on the podcast and off the podcast of like, oh, like maybe you have sleep apnea. I mean, I could just see how much you not sleeping was like domino affecting everything else in your life. And now you are, we got our Aura rings on. You're getting like 90 something % sleep scores every night.
Yeah.
It's like now you're sleeping better than most people. It's crazy.
I'm optimal in most of the categories, which is, I never thought that I would see that again.
Sorry, we had to take a quick dog barking break, but I can't believe that I forgot to share this on the podcast until now, because this happened like 3 weeks ago, and I was so excited to tell Chad about it the second I got off the plane. A few weeks ago, I had a flight to Spokane, and it was a Delta flight, and we had a flight attendant on there, a guy I've never seen before, and everything about him was like so different than anything I've seen on an airplane. He was either like, as Nick Swartzen says, psychotically hungover or a little drunk. And it was
I've just been there, so I know exactly that kind of, yeah.
kind of shocking. He was like, I mean, he had to be like 6'5", 6'6", just this huge guy, which also like you just don't see very often. You usually just see these little like, hello, welcome to Delta, here's your headphones. And he's just like, old women are getting on the plane. He's going, welcome to the pimp plane, ladies. And they're like, oh, like it was so unusual. So anyway, we're all filing on. He's like kind of hitting on some women, it seems like. It's just, I don't know. It was interesting. And then the woman in the very front row, there's not a lot of leg room. And so she's put her shoes up against the wall in front of her. And he goes, did your parents ever tell you not to put your feet on furniture? And she goes, yeah. And then he takes his pen in his hands and he hits her feet. He like fucking Miss Trunchbull and Matilda starts like hitting her feet, and she's like, oh, and puts her feet down, and he's like, yeah, get your feet off the wall. She's like, okay. So we're all kind of like, oh,
That's ADHD or high IQ.
yeah. We're like, oh, okay. Like he's having these moments where he's being very friendly, but then he'll kind of flip a switch, and he comes on the intercom. He's doing like the pre-flight announcements, and then at a certain point he goes, I don't remember what else I'm supposed to say. Just go sit in your seats. We're kind of looking around like, okay, this is...
Isn't it
It's like on
like
like
a legal
script.
situation that you have to say everything?
Yes, this is what I'm saying.
Oh, wow.
Because like, you think you want a flight attendant that's like fun and goofy, but then you realize as you get up there, this is the person that you need to have their shit together, because if something goes wrong, they can't be super hungover or buzzed or whatever's going on.
Yeah.
You need them to like be with it.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
I never, ever want a funny
Yeah,
flight
for
attendant.
sure.
I want someone who goes, headphones? Can I get you a drink? And that's it. I don't need anybody like, it's going to be a great flight, everybody. I've got the code to open the door when we're in mid-flight. I don't need any of that shit. I need, did you pre-order your meal? I don't know. Is it on your clicker? That's all I do not need anybody entertaining me. I have a fucking screen. Boom.
Yes. That's why this stood out so much. And even the other flight attendant said to him at one point, oh man, I can totally tell you came from Southwest. Which is like, Probably not a compliment. Because yeah, if you've flown
explains a
Southwest,
lot.
if you've flown Southwest, it's like they're very jokey. It feels a little like, open mic vibe where they're just like trying jokes, and it's very like dad jokes.
Like, and when you land, they go, whoa, when they hit the brakes on the plane. You're like, okay.
It's like probably nice for the children, but for the adults, you're a little like, okay, we didn't need all this, but whatever.
They're making jokes because we might not make it to our destination.
Yeah, exactly. So this guy just continues to like do some kind of weird things. He walks through our cabin and goes, just so you guys know, as fast as you drink them is as fast as I pour them. So just, if you want me to keep it coming, I will. So people are ordering drinks and he's handing them one of the extra plain bottles of alcohol with their drink. So like the woman next to me got a mimosa, and then he just gave her a thing of vodka too. And she's like, oh, that's because usually it's
Mimosa
just orange
isn't-
juice. Yeah, it's just usually orange juice and champagne. But he just like gave her vodka as well. He just like wanted people to get fucked up.
He's growing on me.
Well, that's the thing is like for a while we were kind of like, oh, he's so like unusual for a flight attendant. This is kind of fun. But then this is where things took a turn for me. So I poop on the plane sometimes.
Nope, time out. Edit it all the time. I've never been on a flight with you where you haven't shit. And we've been on the flights where they go, just so you know, due to the short duration of our flight, we're not going to be able to come around with a beverage and snack service. If you want a water, please ring your flight attendant call button and we'll bring one to you. Right? That's how short the flight is. And she's like, well, got a shit.
Catch me in the bathroom for about 20 minutes of this 40-minute flight. And I know that that's a controversial thing. I think like pooping on planes and reclining your seat on planes are things that people feel very strongly about one way or another.
Can I tell you how I feel about it? If they didn't want you to recline, they wouldn't put recliners. And if they didn't want you to shit, they wouldn't have a toilet.
You know what? Thank you.
You're welcome.
I agree. Do I think you should slam your seat back right after somebody's like been given a drink or something? Like, no, just be aware about it. But if you need to sleep, then tilt your seat back 3 inches.
Do you go back super slowly, letting them go, oh, this seat's coming towards me. I need to move my laptop screen closer to me to match the angle of where the seat will be instead of having it catch and shatter my screen.
100%.
Yeah. You're not a WWE just DDTing somebody behind you.
Yeah, exactly. So
Is that a move? Go ahead.
Who knows? But anyway, it's not like I want to poop on planes, but you guys know I have IBS, and something happens when I'm 30,000 feet in the sky. I'm kind of surprised that everybody doesn't have to run to shit. It's pressure cooking your
I'll agree.
bowels.
If you've ever had a big water bottle on a plane, when you're going up and down, it scrunches.
Yes.
And that's probably what happens to us. Where at that point you go, hey, adjust the pressure in the cabin, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Keep your little vodka bottle and hit the adjust the pressure button up there.
Yes.
Yeah. So I can understand why you have to shit. I don't shit.
I know. I think you are able to hold it and just be like, I would feel more comfortable pooping somewhere else. For me, it's like, if I have to, I have to go.
Gotcha.
Or else I feel ill.
Sure.
And uncomfortable. I hate it. So I go to the bathroom. I have to do some business. And so does it take 30 seconds? No. But I don't take forever in there. But it was like longer than a pee.
What's an exact time, do you think?
I want to say maybe 4 minutes.
4?
4.
Okay.
I come out of the bathroom and that flight attendant is sitting in his seat right outside the bathroom. And he says loudly to the entire front part of the plane, ooh. I was so in shock.
Oh, I love them.
He was so loud. And instantly a million things went through my brain. It's like, do you say something to him? But also, I don't want to like get kicked off Delta flights or something if he considers anything I say to him to be like confronting a flight, I don't know, whatever the legal things are. And I just was so embarrassed that I, like Charlie Brown, walked with my head down to my seat as fast as I could, sat in my seat, and immediately opened the book I was reading and like buried my face in it as if I was like on the clock for reading this certain page. I was mortified.
And the woman next to you starts talking to you. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, I could not believe he did that. And then, I don't know, 20 minutes go by. The woman next to me gets up to use the bathroom. She also, I don't know if she was pooping or not, but she took longer than 30 seconds. She comes out. He does it to her. Oh, and she's getting kind of like fucked up from all that booze he's been giving her. So you can tell she's just like looking at him like, I don't even know what's happening anymore. She comes back to her seat and she and I talk about that we've both just been like poop roasted by this guy publicly. And she's like, I think you and I are being pretty like reasonable about it, but I think a lot of other people would have really had something to say and like filed a complaint. And so anyway, I'd never had anything like that happen. I called you and told you, and you were like, yeah, I am surprised you didn't say something. I don't know what I would have done. So I don't know, like, have you thought about that since then and like had those moments where you're in the shower picturing like, oh, if I was in that position or what? Like, do you know what you would say?
Well, I love a childish,
Yeah.
you know, that any time I have an opportunity to go middle school,
Yes.
I will.
Yes.
So I think a good one there is something like, whoa, nature versus nurture is real. I don't know which one it is, but it has to be one of them because that's the same noise your mom made when I shit in her bathroom after I fucked her. Right? You go, anytime you can bring in fucking someone's mom into the conversation, it's the best.
Oh my God.
But you have to say it still pointing towards the whatever. I mean, to be honest, the real move is to put your hand on his shoulder and go, enjoy your last Delta flight. I hope you love going back to Southwest. And then graze his face. And when he tries to say something, put your fingers on his lips and go, I didn't wash my hands. How about you ooh your fucking lips, bro, because there's shit on them. I think that's the exact move.
Oh, God damn it. My stomach hurts. That's so funny.
Are you on a plane?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yep. See, this is why I needed you on the plane. Because I just shuffle my feet in shame.
Well, it's a little different because you are worried about consequences.
Yeah.
They're not going to kick me out of Delta. I'm fucking
Delta 360,
I'm
bitch.
top of the list, girl. So
Yeah.
I probably could call and get that guy fired. I'm not going to.
I know.
Free booze.
Free booze. That's what's hard. It's like, I think he won a lot of people. He was very divisive. Won a lot of people over. Gave a lot of free booze out. But also really traumatized some people and made me terrified to poop on a plane ever again because we're going to be publicly shamed. God.
Well, I think once you're an adult and you're shitting, it's like everyone shits and everyone knows that.
Yeah.
So if you're in high school and someone were to do that to you,
yeah,
that would be miserable.
Yeah.
If you're on the fan bus driving 3 hours down to watch your high school basketball team in the state tournament and you didn't get a chance to shit in the morning like you normally do because your mom overslept and she promised you that she would wake you up. You didn't have to get up because she was going to be up anyways. And then she doesn't wake you up. So you have to get on this bus unshowered, unkempt. It doesn't look great. And you have a 3-hour trip. Plus you're going to have to cheer for these motherfuckers that some of them are mean to you because they're seniors and you're a freshman. And then you have to take the bus back. But if you shit on that bus on the way to the game and someone goes, whoa, dude, on the bus? On the bus! No one sits by you at the game, and it's a real horrible experience, even though you did bring a big, giant placard with the number 3 on it. So anytime Barry Cornamone would hit a 3-pointer off the bench, greatest sixth man in high school basketball history, as far as I'm concerned, you'd hold up the 3 and they'd go, it's upside down. And I go, oh, that's foreshadowing to my 161. And you put it back. And then you got to ride the fucking bus all the way back too. But I mean, that's just like an example.
An example. Yeah. Oh my God. My heart hurts for whoever that happened to that's sitting on this couch with me.
My God, do I hope it never happens to anyone.
No wonder you can't poop in public.
Keep your promises, parents. Keep your promises.
Oh, and also you had a toilet on the bus?
Yeah, it was one of those fancy dancies.
Whoa, Fergus Falls.
Well, it was a fan bus. You had to pay a lot of money to be on it.
Whoa. On the bus, dude.
Bro, on the bus! Like from way far away. But also, you don't shit on a bus. I mean, but what was I supposed to do at that point?
Yeah, of course. You don't have to preach to the choir. Of course. I poop on every plane. I know. I got you. No
Thank
wonder
you
you're
so
so
much.
weird about me going into the bathroom after you poop.
Oh, I don't think it has anything to do with that.
Oh, okay.
I just don't like other people smelling my shit.
Yeah,
Which
true.
seems... You don't see a lot of people opening a door being like, guys, you're not going to believe this. Get in here.
Oh, I have to set my laptop up, but Mia's on my lap and I don't want to smush her. Okay, we're going to do our dates and then we're going to do a middle segment that has been submitted by one of you guys. And then we're going to do some questions. So in terms of dates, Mia. Oh.
I'm going to be in Spokane this Friday and Saturday.
Whoop, whoop.
If you're in the Montana, Idaho, Washington, Oregon area, I hope you can make it. I don't know if those are drivable. Then I'm going to be later, the next week I'm going to be in Tampa. Then October 3 through 5, Madison, Wisconsin. Then the 18th and 19th of October, I'm going to be in Columbus, Ohio. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to be in November, Denver, San Francisco, Sacramento. And then I will be in December, Salt Lake City and Las Vegas. I have a bunch of dates coming up in 2025 that are being booked right now that I'm very excited about. I might have to get my left hip cut out of my body, so I might not be touring for 2 months. But other than that, I am fucking jacked up to write this next hour. And I hope you come watch The Process. Unless it's in Canada, then The Process.
The Process. ChadDaniels.com/tour.
Mm-hmm.
And next weekend, I'm going to be in Fort Collins at the Comedy Fort. Those shows are almost sold out, and I'm not going to add any more. So if you guys want to come, I would get a ticket right now, truly. And then I go to Omaha, Phoenix, Providence, Dania Beach, San Antonio, and Austin. Those are the rest of my dates for this year. KelseyCook.com for tickets. I also have so many new cities for next year that I will be announcing somewhat soon. And I don't know, you may or may not have more than one person on stage at some of those cities, so just stay tuned. It's pretty exciting.
Oh yeah, that's right. Might be 2 people on stage unless there's a toilet backstage.
Then just you. Okay, so this is our middle segment today. This email is titled "Middle Segment Idea!" ! Exclamation points to draw attention! ! So funny. Hey, Kelsey and Chad, I have a little middle segment idea for you. Rank the carbs from your favorite, which you are speaking our language.
Ice cream, pizza.
From your favorite to least favorite, bread, pasta, potatoes, rice. Choose wisely and don't be racist.
Don't be racist.
I don't know how you can be racist with this.
Oh, I do.
Oh, how?
I got it. So listen, I have a question. Is bread pizza crust?
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, it goes bread number 1.
Okay.
But I'm throwing in just pizza crust. If it's bread, it's not number 1. But if it's pizza crust, it's number 1. And then there's a break in the graph for the rest of them. And then I go pasta, potatoes, and rice is my last one. And obviously, you know, I don't like rice because of Chinese people. Boom. Is that how you're supposed to make it racist? I really don't know. I don't like rice just because it fills me up. Like I'm a sashimi guy. I would rather have, like when I go to Chipotle, I just get a little, they go white or brown rice. And I say just a half scoop of brown.
Yeah, he's
just to get it started.
Really anti-rice.
I get both beans. I get double meat, all the salsas, some guacamole.
Yeah. Okay, well, mine is a little different than yours. I'm going to go number 1, pasta.
Yeah.
We discovered some cacio e pepe here and some butternut squash ravioli at the Red Rabbit restaurant in North Loop in Minneapolis. Yeah. My God, some of the best things I've ever had in my life. I'm going to go number 2, bread. Number 3, rice. I love rice. I love steamed rice. Oh, with some butter. That's like my favorite comfort food. And then here's the hard thing. I'm putting potatoes last, but if you think about potatoes in French fry form, fuck. Like animal style In-N-Out fries. Oh my God.
Well, it makes sense that you don't like normal potatoes. Looking at your hair, because a famine killed most of your ancestors.
So funny. Oh my God. And then the rest of this email says, also, Chad, I agree that pepperoni, pineapple, and jalapeno is the ideal pizza.
Yeah, it is.
Salt, sweet, and spice all in one bite. Wow.
Of course.
And yes, please use my name if you use this. Fuck, even if you don't, give me a shout out anyway. Your pretend pal, Wade P. Wade, thank you.
Pretend pal. I like that.
I like pretend pal too.
Wade, nice work.
Thank you. So you guys, if you write into the podcast, pretendproblemspodcast@gmail.com, you can submit middle segment ideas like Wade did, or you can ask for relationship advice. You can ask for life advice. You can tell us what you think about something we just talked about. Give us some advice.
I'm sick of giving and giving and giving and not receiving.
Yes.
What is this? Christmas as a single dad?
Your kids are like, I made you this. And it's like a fucking drawing of a weird dog. You're like, okay.
You know what? I love that stuff so much.
I know. I want Emmy to send me
I have
one.
2 giant bins that I just moved out of the old house that just say Isaac and Olivia. And it is stacked to the top with shit like that. That's the kind of stuff I love. Don't buy me something.
You're
Make
such
me
a
something.
good dad.
I'm not a good dad. I just
You
love mocking my children.
Whatever. Okay, so
I can't read anything but the top of it.
this first email is titled, Hey you turds, you can eat poop. If you have been wanting to play a drinking game this episode, just take a shot every time you hear the word poop, and you are going to the ER this one, because this is a lot of poop talk this time. So anyway, they say, hey guys, been a listener since episode 1. I discovered Kelsey through Chad, and I've listened to Chad since someone finally explained how it felt taking a canoe trip with my ex-wife. That certainly is not why the marriage ended, but it definitely didn't help. I've never written into a podcast before, so forgive me if I don't know what I'm doing. But on the most recent episode, The Creepiest Neighbor, you guys were talking about eating poop, and I wanted to let you know about, according to Dr. Drew. Yes, that is Dr. Drew from The Man Show in Your Mom's House. You can eat poop and live. Your digestive system is essentially one long tube from your mouth hole to your butthole, and as long as you can get over the gag factor and get it down there, there's nothing that will happen to cause you an infection or anything else that would negatively affect your health. It's just that most people can't get over the idea of putting actual feces in their mouth. I figured I would share that little tidbit of information since it's haunted me since the day I heard it, and now I'm hoping to haunt maybe a few other listeners. Thanks for all that you do. I've never seen either of you live, but I've watched every single one of Chad's specials, and I'm excited to dig into Kelsey's. Feel free to use my name if you read this on the podcast, Jason.
Well, thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Jason. Okay. If you didn't listen to last week's episode, the middle segment that was submitted was, would you rather eat chocolate-flavored poop or poop-flavored chocolate?
2 shots.
2 shots. I told Chad that I would absolutely rather eat poop-flavored chocolate because it's still chocolate. Chad opted for chocolate-flavored poop, and I said, that's crazy. You can't eat poop, you'll get sick. So that's where this all comes from. I believe you that Dr. Drew said this, but I guess I would like to ask Dr. Drew how that's possible, because all of like so many of foodborne illnesses are from E. coli, which is from fecal matter. So
yeah, I don't know.
I don't get it.
I would think there's still, obviously, when you're cutting up a red pepper,
Sure.
right? You're not getting every single edible piece of red pepper. You're throwing the top away.
Yeah.
You're taking out some of the insides that you could eat. So I think that's how poop works. It's like it's not 100% waste. There's probably some stuff that has nutritional value that made it through.
Corn.
I have no problem. Did you know that corn doesn't make it through? It's actually just the skins of the corn, but it looks like corn kernels because the skins of the corn are filled with shit. True.
Ew,
I'm just telling you. Listen,
really?
This is high shit. This is high shit factor this week.
Oh my God.
But I'm going to tell you that for me, it's not the gag reflex. I could plug my nose and probably get through it. It is the consistency. Bro, it is like getting peanut butter off the roof of your mouth.
I just got peanut butter back.
You can't eat. You cannot eat that.
Ugh. We'll go like 3 episodes without talking about poop just to cleanse this one.
Honestly, I don't.
Probably not, but we'll try. Okay. This next one is just a funny email. It's titled Song Ruined. Thanks, guys. They say, because of you and your pod, one of my favorite songs is ruined. Every time I listen to it, my brain hears this. Let the body keep the score. Let the body keep the score. Let the body keep the score. Thanks, guys. Cheers. And then it's Akim from Germany again. Thank you. I just, this little email made me laugh. And
I'd like to say 2 things.
Yeah.
Thanks for writing back in and thanks for listening.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
And then the second one is have better taste in music. And maybe your songs won't get ruined.
You don't like that one? That's a classic.
You know that song was banned from the radio after 9/11.
Really?
Because people had to jump out of the buildings. It's true.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
For a long time, it was banned.
Oof. I did not know
Hey,
that.
if you guys need information that has no fucking value, go ahead and write into pretendproblemspodcast@gmail.com.
Okay, this one is titled Chat in Public Moments. How fitting for today.
Okay.
They say, big fan of you both and love the podcast. I felt the Let Go or Be Dragged episode, powerful saying by the way, at an intensely visceral level. Childhood experiences, too long and irrelevant to explain, mean I've spent much of my life on a mission to achieve justice in the universe.
I understand how you could think they're long, not irrelevant.
Not irrelevant.
This is just something I learned in therapy, but keep going.
And for reasons either genetic or psychological, my vibe in those moments was distinctly fast think / hair trigger, which often left my wife / loved ones, like Kelsey, imagining the potential of the situation as one of your letters described it. That all changed recently when my psychiatrist suggested I try an anti-seizure medication, oxcarbazepine, which is also cross-prescribed for mood disorders. My initial fears of being cloudy or losing my edge, I have a high-stakes job, were, in my experience, unfounded. Instead, I'm liberated from the forced fast thinking and free to take stock, assess, and make intentional choices about how I want to take control of and steer the situation. If anything, I'm a lot better at my job and definitely better, with room to improve, at all relationships in my life. YMMV, obviously, but thought I'd share if helpful. You can read my letter, but please don't use my name on the air. Keep being awesome. Thank you so much for writing in. I mean, that's so fascinating. It's always so strange when it's like these medications where it is for one thing and then doctors realize it actually helps this thing that has nothing to do with the initial thing.
Yeah. It's like, hey, doctor, this heart pill is awesome, but my dick's been hard for 4 hours.
Yeah. It's an old lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting, but I'm thrilled for you. Thank you for sharing with us that you found something that helped you. And I've never heard of anything like that.
That is awesome. I don't have a mood disorder. I'm a genius.
Oh my God.
And probably have some narcissism. No, I don't. So here's the thing that does sound interesting to me.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have somebody really like a doctor.
Yeah.
Tell me some shit. And I'm probably not going to see a doctor for this again because people in my life are given one, Chad, you need to go to the hospital and get this checked coupon. And several of you used it on this ADHD trip. And so now here we are, right? People are like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy? And you just have to go, well, he doesn't have ADHD.
That's all we know.
We don't know, but just know. Take comfort in it's not that.
Well, if you are feeling good, then that's great.
I feel great. I feel just
Great.
fine.
Great. Okay. This is in reference to last episode as well. It's titled Creepy Old Guy Neighbor Answer. I want to let you guys know there were a few of you who wrote in and you said kind of the same thing. And so I just picked an email that was like pretty concise. But I do really appreciate those of you who also wrote in about it because all the information was very helpful. So they say, hello, Kelsey and Chad. I just listened to the creepiest neighbor and about the disgusting neighbor and 10-year-old girl. I like your answer about incorporating the other neighbors. I was also thinking that Mark could consult the local police station. I would ask to speak with an officer, explain the situation, and ask what legal action you can take. Just talking with the police could have the police department be on watch. I would also ask if there are grounds for a restraining order. So, and this is what was being said in a lot of the other emails is like to go to the police and just ask because they probably have a whole like bounty of information that could be helpful, and it's good to just like maybe get that conversation going because maybe somebody else has also gone and talked about this guy.
Sure. I personally
Yeah.
don't like to go to the police and get them involved if I don't have to, because then it's kind of like you're showing your cards. Because if one of these dads from the neighborhood watch poker night that you've started because of this guy ends up murdering him, then now the police are involved and they're like, we would have been fine if you murdered him, but you told us before. And now we have to bring you to jail. What the fuck, man? You should have left us out of it, and you could have murdered him, and we'd have been fine with it. I don't know.
Get everybody some oxcarbazepine.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you guys, we went longer than I thought we would today, and so we're gonna have to save some of these other emails for next episode. But if you would like to join us over on Patreon right now, there's a new mini bonus episode that is out for your listening pleasure because we're about to record it right now.
Yes.
And it will be coming out the same
this
day
instant.
as this new main episode. So hop over to patreon.com/pretendproblems where we're going to just keep the conversation going from this episode. Maybe give you some behind the scenes. I don't know. Maybe we're going to talk about some totally different topics that we didn't cover on the main episode today. So yeah, patreon.com/pretendproblems. We'll see you guys over there and we will also talk to you next week.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.